Up and at 'em, everyone! Jukem here, bringing you a hardcore Nuzlocke of Pokémon Platinum, featuring the quirky Wigglytuff Guild members of Pokémon Mystery Dungeon. They've fought together in this infamous boss fight, and today they're crossing the roads of Sinnoh to become champions. In a Nuzlocke, if a Pokémon faints, they can't be used again, and I can only catch the first Pokémon found in each new area. Alongside the standard rules are these additional hardcore ones. While not all Pokémon here are naturally available in Platinum, using my Magic-y Mumbo Schmumbo will turn gift Pokémon given to us by characters to those not in Sinnoh's regional Pokédex. Except, oh my gosh, I don't know how to do that, but conveniently, they're in the wild near those areas. But hey, don't shirk, it's time to get to work on this Nuzlocke. We begin where all things start, in a bedroom. After acquiring self-awareness, it isn't too long before we receive our starter Pokemon for this run, Jukem the Igglybuff. Thank goodness this is after the immediate rival fight because this guy got 0 attacking moves. We can mend that issue with another catch soon after, a Bidoof named Yup Yup. With mighty tackles that other mons only wish they had, Yup Yup and Jukem level up enough to make it through the beginning obstacles all the way to Rourke. It's a slow process, but possible. With 2 normal types as our only encounters before the rock type expert, let's see how we do against him. I am leading with Jukem, the now Jigglypuff, for my Grandmaster plan. He charms Geodude to harshly lower his attack as Stealth Rock is set up. We charm again before being struck by Rock Throw, which we then disable the following turn. It's his only damaging move, meaning we are free to switch to Yup Yup. She's got what we need to get through this fight. With 2 defense curls and our simple ability, our defense is at +4 for all these future physical attacks. Defense curl also doubles its upcoming rollout's power through the duration. Geodude has no chance of hanging on, and Onix almost gets OHKO'd by the final rollout hit. Next turn, Rourke heals with a potion while we begin another rollout. On streak 3 of rollouts, Yup Yup lands a critical hit to KO Onix. Rourke's Ace Cranidos is last, and with our remaining HP, Yup Yup can handle a pursuit before rolling out a final time to one-shot Cranidos, earning us badge numero uno with just 2 normal types. With the upped level cap, Yup Yup evolves into a bee barrel. Rampaging with 0 thoughts within that beaver head of hers, little can stand in the way. Even Mars is a pushover. This random Pachirisu trainer in Eterna Forest presented a threat, though thankfully damage was kept to a minimum and we were able to patch up our wounds, arriving to Eterna City for more encounters. First, with a Cotbuizel, I'm able to trade it with an NPC to receive the unholy Demon Lord of the Wigglytuff Guild. I hate this guy. Also, no stupid Chirap nickname. This suits you better. Anyway, we then capture a Chingling named Assembly, who can immediately evolve with high enough friendship into Chimecho. We're set for Gardenia. She leads Turtwig while War Outlaw comes through. That's gonna be poorly worded throughout the video, I bet. Something I should mention is that due to the nature of Chatot traded origins, she won't always listen to my word unless I earn enough gym badges, or we're underleveled, which I didn't want to risk. I'd rather risk this, I'm so smart. As you can see, this Fury attack isn't my intention. Turtwig wastes a turn with Reflect, so hopefully a chatter will reach the ears of my enemies. She then proceeds to not obey twice, racking up damage from Razor Leafs. Hey genius, maybe fight back! She does eventually get off that chatter, which faints to Turtwig, but this is just the beginning. Cherrim is second. War Outlaw fails twice to do anything, allowing Cherrim to set up a Safeguard and Leech Seed. War Outlaw then decides, maybe I should do something. So she does what we call an awesome, and goes from doing chatter to sing. Safeguard is up. Thanks! Now I gotta swap out. Jukem loses exactly half his health from Magic Leaf on the way in. Amazingly, an unamazing outcome is fated with a second Magic Leaf striking the Guildmaster down. Great job, War Outlaw, you killed your best friend. Well, after the death of the guild's leader, War Outlaw takes the opportunity to chat away his new responsibilities at this Cherrim, which crits and KOs. Thanks. Roserade is up last. We can't get off a chatter before War Outlaw is paralyzed via Stun Spore. Slower now, Roserade hits us with Magical Leaf, and we survive on 2 HP. Unfortunately, War Outlaw went with Mirror Move. So we're pretty screwed. I'm a Spore loser, but I'll make this quick. We get steamrolled by Magical Leaf after Magical Leaf for our remaining team members. We even get crit on Assembly. Great debut battles for both our new guild members. Yeehaw, I'm going to destroy the concept of birds or something. After this defeat, I came to realize something important. I realized just how lucky I was to beat Rourke on the first try. Attempt after attempt, things would never go right after the first. Rollout misses here, headbutt flinches there, missing crucial survivals and whatnot up the wazoo for this fight. Onyx's Screech was even annoying in resetting our defense curl buffs. Anything that could go wrong would go wrong. At least, not without proper EV training on attempt 7. And with all the investments in attacking and defensive stats alongside perfect RNG, I was able to replicate my attempt 1 and defeat Rourke. It was a vicious cycle, all due to that stupid, annoying assistant. This time, fighting Gardenia, I made sure to give War Outlaw only attacks and sing. No mirror move 500 IQ plays for this dumb thing. I don't know what to call it, I just stored the concept of avian creatures, I'm running with it. We also evolved Yumta into her max power Wigglytuff form, using a moonstone from the underground. Yup is the one I've led with to keep War Outlaw safe for later. Return has a 37.5% chance to finish Turtwig right away. We can live anything that Turtwig can limply throw at us, but our attack receives that better roll to get that OHKO. And cause we've got the HP for days, Yup is safe to hit Charm with a return. It almost defeats her, while she only responds back with Leech Seed. This lets us safely take her down with a second return, getting us back to Roserade. Roserade and her magical crystallized leaves are bound to strike, meaning War Outlaw is back to Fail Girl. While War Outlaw ignores my orders, she redeems herself with a connected Sing. Next turn, she hits a Chatter to deal immense damage, putting Roserade a bit less than half after her Citrus Berry heals her. She's sleeping in still, granting us an opportunity to strike her down with a final flying type attack. We've made it through this gym battle for our second gym badge, and our Zygodactyl will listen to us thanks to its mystical powers. Once Jupiter is kicked out of an inconveniently placed building, Cynthia gifts us an egg, allowing us to find and capture a nearby Whismur named Up and Atom. Let's speed things along to Heart Home, where we meet BB. She will offer an Eevee. This lets us find another team member in Ocean Men the Diglett. It's a good time to mention that the order of these non-Synodex encounters was decided by a random number generator, outside Igglybuff at the beginning since, you know, the Guildmaster. After the world's worst performance on America's Got Talent, where Up and Atom the Loudred strictly screamed into the mic, getting last place like a doof, Fantina the contest star finds us to be a disgrace on the stage and has the simple solution of making the entire guild go to the great beyond. Fantina begins to battle with Duskull as Up and Atom comes to defend his honor from this ridicule. He performs a Howl to raise attack, while Duskull witnesses his demise with Future Sight. As prophecy has foretold since like 3 seconds ago, a bite KOs the Duskull with ease. Haunter is out and about, causing confusion to Up and Atom. He's got the will to avoid self-damage, biting the Haunter into submission for another knockout. Last is Miss Magius. Even with Future Sight damage, I decide I can afford a wee little gamble and attack again, getting hit by Psybeam in the process. We break through the confusion once more and get off a bite that leaves Miss Magius a bit below half health after she eats her berry. I switch out into Yup to tanky Psybeam then. We bait a Magical Leaf, so I pivot to War Outlaw. However, she gets inflicted with a Confuse Ray. We got back up in Ocean Men, who is a Dugtrio that won't get hit by Magical Leaf on the switch in. Now audience, Ocean Men should bait a Magical Leaf, correct? He will literally faint if Fantina does it. But Fantina, in all of her wisdom, uses Confuse Ray, negating our chance to Sucker Punch Miss Mag. A Person Berry cures us, but I assume another Confuse Ray is coming. I go into War Outlaw again, who is confuzzled. Cue a few switches to get War Outlaw back in without confusion. Since War Outlaw is faster, I land a taunt to prevent any more confusion shenanigans. Miss Mag then attacks on this turn, so I know this game is cheating, but it's safe to bring back Ocean Men and force the witch to attack us, allowing Sucker Punch to successfully hit and finish Miss Mag off. That was a complicated win for our third gym badge. Travels to Veilstone commence. Gotta point out how we humiliate our rival by defeating him with just a Chatot. Just give up on the champion dream, buckaroo, you'll never recover from that. Arriving at Veilstone gets us our next encounter due to an NPC that gifts a Porygon. Welcome to the guild, oh my gosh the Sunkern, but there's much more to talk about in Veilstone. Thanks to infinite money via the underground items I can mine, this city is the actual gold mine of the Sinnoh region, buying TMs and other useful items from the department store and game corner. The guild, after spending Team Poképals' funds on their own stuff, challenges Maylene next. The fighting type prodigy sends in Metatype first as assembly comes through. We protect to stop a fake out, though we defend from Rock Tomb instead. Same outcome. With a mind play, a psychic from assembly is enough to one-shot Metatype on the following turn. Machoke is up second, and due to this lackluster moveset in this matchup, I decide to bring forth a Reflect first before taking him out. He wastes a single chance of damage by going for Focus Energy, meaning Psychic is another easy peasy OHKO. For Maylene's Lucario, after Assembly tanks a Metal Claw from him thanks to Reflect, she makes him drowsy with a Yawn. Then we protect again to cause the doggo to fall asleep. 2 turns of Sleeping Dogs grants Assembly the chance to defeat Lucario with 2 Psychics. We've earned our Black Belt and our 4th Gym Badge. As you can guess, we've quite the roster of mons to handle these trainer battles between gyms. Before we reach Pastoria, let me just say that if you enjoyed the video, do think of that subscribble nonsense if you're interested in more Pokemon content from my quirky self. And for today's question of the day, what's your favorite Explores the Sky character? Let's continue to Pastoria, where we can catch a Croagunk to add to the guild's ranks. Oh look, there's one right there. Just kidding, couldn't find it in the Great Marsh for the life of me. We had Whis to find him instead. His name is Mehehe. Then after another fraudulent showing by our rival, Crasher Wake will be washed next. Our wrestling match begins with Crasher Wake sending in Gyarados while we bring out Yumta. Gyarados goes for a waterfall that we take moderately well. This contact move activates Yumta's Cute Charm, though we flinch. Willing to risk crit for the biscuit, the Water Serpent stays madly in love, allowing a Thunderbolt to go off and put him low. Wake will heal here, so I know it's safe to Thunderbolt once more and bring him back to the red depths of HP. Then we swap to Yup Yup on a resisted waterfall, and after a few bite flinches that were cutting it close for us, a final Thunderbolt feints the Gyarados. Wake's Float Soul is out now. Due to the constant bites, Yup Yup is a bit too low to handle the Weasel Lifeguard. I switch over to Mehehe to Toxicroak on a crunch, causing my defense to fall. Not too dire of a scenario, we can still live some Ice Fangs, letting us fire off Sucker Punch the next 2 turns to put Floatzel in KO range. Floatzel even misses an Ice Fang. With that, a final Sucker Punch brings him down, leaving Quagsire for last here. We send in Oh My Gosh on a Rock Tomb. Our Sunny Day Chlorophyll insurance strat is ruined due to the speed drop. We swap to Up and Atom on a Yawn, before landing a return to deal decent damage. Water Pulse does very little, and since we're asleep now, we switch another time to Assembly, who avoids Mudshot via Levitate. Her Psychic places bad vibes inside that thoughtless Salamander, causing him to faint, and defeating Wake for our 5th Gym Badge. With Surf in hand, let me reiterate some preparations I've mentioned doing in my prior Sinnoh run. Route 221 is home to an NPC that gives out Focus Ashes in a cycle infinitely if you keep completing his requests. Near Hearthome and Pastoria are NPCs that give out various berries, EV management berries, type weakness reducing berries, etc. These infinite items also bring back my whole infinite money mindset for Sinnoh Nuzlockes. And speaking of the underground, that minigame area allows me to discover infinite shards and heart scales, meaning the move tutors and move relearner aren't an issue to repeatedly use either. Lastly, the choice specs are received in Celestic Town, which is neat. While I did put an entire paragraph there to jump scare you guys, I'll make up for lost time by keeping it blunt in how Byron is the freest gym leader in the game. Weirdly, none of my Pokemon are able to OHKO each member of his team. Seemingly, the one who was the closest to reaching that end was Ocean Man. Now what if I said we had a special choice we could make? Our special attack ain't the highest, but these Steel-type jocks don't have the special defense to compensate. Easy 6th Gym Badge from Byron. Heading over to Iron Island, our boy Riley will give out an egg for aiding the island's invasion of Team Galactic. That means we can find and catch our final guild member, a Corphish named Hey Hey. Minus attack nature, but that shell armor means we have more leeway for dealing with the bane of all Nuzlockers, critical hits. Moving along, Saturn gets freed up at Lake Valor, and Mars also ain't an issue. But oh boy, can't wait for that double battle at Spear Pillar. Before that heartache though, we've to bestow Candice with the Cold Shoulder. She leads Sneasel as I go with Mehehe. Immediately, a lightning fast Vacuum Wave gets that 4-time super effective knockout. Piloswine is second. Threatening with Earthquake, a swap to Assembly avoids the Tectonic attack. We get ready to put the pig to sleep with Yawn, while she brings along the Hail. Then we summon a Reflect, which reduces the damage dealt by Piloswine's Avalanche. With her asleep now, a Psychic is fired off for good damage before going back to Mehehe. Unfortunately, Piloswine wakes up right away, though she only hits us with Stone Edge. Our Froggo ends it with Vacuum Wave the next turn. Frostlass is up third. The intent was to risklessly switch to Hey Hey the Crawdon to absorb Frostlass's Psychic, but with the damage on Piloswine's Awakening turn, Frostlass also sees a kill with Blizzard on Mehehe, which makes contact with Hey Hey. This was outside of Hail too, so that's awesome. Candace then tries to cheese us out with double team evasion boosts, but Frostlass is caught by our incoming Night Slash for a one-shot. Our final opponent is Abomasnow. This other lass was always going to be an issue. My best bet is to send in Up and Atom and hope the crit gods are in my favor. Thankfully, Abomasnow's Focus Blast doesn't crit, and we even heal back up slightly with our Citrus Berry. With our higher speed, we flamethrower the ice monster for a potent 4x super effective attack, which frustratingly leaves her at the edge of her HP and a burn. Whatever. The single thing I did not calc in my plan because I just assumed that Abomasnow would melt. I'll be paying the price for it. Astonishingly, Focus Blast doesn't directly KO Up and Atom, but with Snow Warning activated earlier, both Up and Atom and Abomasnow fall to hail and burn respectively. The battlefield is clear, though not clean, with our first death of the run and our 7th gym badge. I won't lie when I say that I got more careless after witnessing a death in the guild, probably because I was waking up late every day without Up and Atom's alarming voice, so now I just never sleep and the deprivation demons take the wheel that is my decision making. Oh, that's a mean look, Sunflora. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh is dead. I don't really know how to commemorate this, I'm not gonna lie, oh my gosh did not much throughout this journey. Not our biggest loss, though I guess we don't have something to sack for sticky situations like against Cyrus here, baby! Yup is our savior in this battle thanks to her defense curls and rest healing. Avoiding confusion and crits got us past Crobat, and we cut it close with Honchkrow at several points. Yup hung on the entire battle, which means we can prepare to face two of the toughest battles Pokemon Platinum has to offer. Mars and Jupiter in a double battle, and Cyrus. Again. First is our 1 vs 2 match with the commanders. The two lead their Bronzor, I go with Hey Hey, and a sack of bricks sends in his stale loaf of bread. I'm trying my hardest to minimize the need of a partner here, so what better way than to use Substitute against the AI. The Bronzor aren't that strong, allowing my sub to remain while Hey Hey sets up 3 Sword Stances. Once Reflect is gone from the field, it was time to let her rip. Night Slash absolutely mollywops Mars' side of the field, healing us in the process thanks to our Shell Belt. My Rapidash ally had brought down the other Bronzor, leaving Jupiter's Golbat and Skuntank at the mercy of our side's devastating attacks. A solid win in this crazy double battle. Up next is our final match with Cyrus in the Distortion World, a universe opposite to our own. It's a place where they continue to put their heart into Pokemon spin-off games that people loved, like Mystery Dungeon, Ranger, Pokkén, Rumble, Poké Park, Troze. I guess I can't say Snap. Our battle with Cyrus starts off with his lead Houndoom getting disintegrated by Ocean Men's Earthquake. Our second turn with Cyrus starts off with his sent out Gyarados against Ocean Men. In response, Yup comes in place to tank an Ice Fang. She then Thunderbolts Gyarados to clear away half his HP before receiving moderate damage from Earthquake. A second Thunderbolt is enough to fry the Gyarados. Cyrus sends out his Honchkrow third, so I swap the Yumta on his Drill Peck, leaving us above half HP. Risking the crit here, Yumta fires off her Ice Beam, dealing 50% damage, and then she gets struck by another Drill Peck. We are lucky and the crit doesn't occur, so after our Citrus Berry heals us, Ice Beam makes Honchkrow's HP hit sub-zero. Weavile is up fourth. This is simple. Mehehe comes in on a fake out, and like in the past, Oko's Quad Fighting Weak Weasel with a priority Choice Specs Vacuum Wave. Crobat is the final mon up to bat. Confuse Ray is basically guaranteed to happen with Crobat's blinding speed, so we're going to pray for Hey Hey's success as she's hit by it. The following turn, Crobat strikes us with Cross Poison, which doesn't deal much damage. This lets us attempt an Avalanche a few times. Luck is on my side as our Ice attack connects through the confusion, doubling in power this turn to easily one-shot Crobat. This puts an end to Team Galactic's universal tomfoolery with the defeat of Cyrus. He's decided emotion is okay now that he's in a world where Pokkén 2 exists, so I guess he's staying. What he doesn't know is that the top tiers are even more feral than the first games. I get the heck out of Dodge to our original universe in response, hearing Cyrus's gamer rage echoing across the spaceless, timeless Distortion World. The real world could use a new Grandmaster of all things bad to replace Cyrus, but that costs money. Of course, saving the freaking world has zero means of making bank in the Pokemon universe, apparently. I gotta be the very best, as they say. We're heading to the Pokemon League in our quest to become champions. What? I missed something? There's an 8th gym leader we have to defeat before that, and he's very empty inside due to the status as the strongest leader in the Sinnoh region. His best friend is expecting us to give him a thrilling battle that'll light up his world, sparking a new love for Pokemon battling, and will prevent him from going bankrupt from constantly renovating the city in the process. I'm clueless. What are you talking about? Anyway, Victory Road has a few tough mandatory trainers. These fights feature hard-hitting mons, though nothing we can't handle after strategizing. We arrive at the league unharmed, but then the sack of bricks decides to ruin my day again. I'm sorry, Charm, old rival buddy. I can ignore any skill needed to beat you by just being comically overleveled. Feeble rivals aside, these are the guild members who are raring to go and become champions. While I have been altering EVs with berries throughout this journey, I decided for the fun of it to not do so for the Elite Four and Champion. My plans all rely on the same stats, though moves and items will of course differ between battles for various plans I have. With that all said and done, let's undertake these Elite Four battles. Aaron and his mostly bug types are up first. Yanmega is sent out as his lead, while ours is an old nemesis in War Outlaw. With choice specs, she's able to outspeed and pick up a one-hit knockout on Yanmega with Chatter. Second out is the false bug Drapion. We'll need to pivot to beat this guy safely. We do a switch over to Mehehe on Drapion's attempted Ice Fang. Then we bait Aerial Ace, which Ocean Men would appreciate being struck by more than the super effective ice attack. Now we just gotta use Earthquake, powered up by Soft Sand, to Oko Drapion for free. Heracross decides to come out third, which was his mistake, as Ocean Men possesses Aerial Ace himself for such a scenario. I actually expected Heracross to be out second and not third. This was a backup just in case, and it made dealing with the beetle a whole lot easier. Vespiquen is fourth. Rock Slide could always miss here, so I make the decision to go into Mehehe as Vespiquen raises her defenses with Defend Order. She poses no threat to Mehehe, granting us several turns to increase our special attack with Nasty Plot. We do so at a faster rate than her Defend Orders, and we can outdamage Heal Order. A few Sludge Bombs puts Vespiquen down. Last is Scizor. At +6 special attack, a Vacuum Wave is just enough to guarantee a full health knockout against the Stapler Bug, bringing us our first victory of these Elite Four battles. Bertha and her Whiscash are here to stir up trouble second. Our lead Hey's purpose is to cause chip damage for Assembly in the back. She's battered by Whiscash's Earth Power before her Ice Beam does a good amount of damage. The lowered special defense is irrelevant. We simply switch to Assembly, who avoids another Earth Power attempt with Levitate. She's learned Grass Knot, which is ultra busted in this battle, tripping up the catfish into her grave. Grass Knot also obliterates Bertha's Hippowdon, as well as Rhyperior and Golem, even with the special defense boost gained through Hippowdon's Sandstream. Gliscor is all that's left. Assembly's Psychic does an immense amount of damage to her, and we easily survive any of her attacks while a Lumberry prevents status ailments. And if it wasn't bad enough for her, she outright misses her Fire Fang. Gliscor is left wide open to another Psychic to finish her off, concluding our match with Bertha. Then there's Flint. We've got a fast Earthquake user. There isn't much to talk about here. We did have to worry about Flareon and Infernape possessing priority attacks, but a Shell Bell aids Ocean Men by healing off any potential damage, resulting in an utterly dominating win against Flint of the Elite Four, who didn't even use those priority moves, so I guess I overprepared. Lucian's penultimate battle is up next. His lead is Mr. Mime, and ours is good old Hey. To keep it brief, this is a long battle, but most of it revolves around wasting Mr. Mime's PP on Thunderbolt and Psychic. Hey causes Lucian to always attack using Thunderbolt, which Ocean Men is immune to. In turn, Ocean Men bait Psychics that get absorbed by returning to Hey. Reflect and Light Screen are occasionally set up, adding quite a few extra turns to this already slow strat. We get there eventually, meaning a Mr. Mime without any attacks is set up fodder for Mehehe and his nasty plots. Once we have gained +6 special attack and stalled out Light Screen, Mehehe goes ham and eradicates Lucian's entire squad of Psychics with Dark Pulse, even Bronzong with its defensive, non-dark weak profile. Outsped and outsmarted, that's Lucian defeated. The Elite Four is finished, but there's a tricky fight against Champion Cynthia soon after, and we might not get out of this unscathed. Let's see if Wigglytuff's Guild can become champions ourselves in this ultimate fight to the finish. Cynthia's spooky skull emoji is her lead, while I send out our guildmaster, Yumta. Yumta's goal is to eventually beat the Spirit Tomb herself. We aren't innately stalling with any other purpose, that's just how it be as we use Toxic. Dark Pulse from Spirit Tomb crits the first turn, though that's fine for now. We then Protect, and continue to do so every other turn to inflict more poison damage. We risk a second crit by setting up Stealth Rocks, which will secure future KOs. Thankfully, the crit is avoided. Yumta rests back up to full HP, cures herself with a Chesto Berry, and then tanks a Silver Wit. We Toxic the turn Cynthia uses a full restore and begins the poison stall once more. This continues until Toxic damage finally brings down Spirit Tomb, resulting in Lucario coming out second. We needed Lucario to be on the field after Spirit Tomb. and will also require a sacrifice to accomplish our goals. But it's a testament to how righteous Yumta is as a leader. She will never be forgotten as she succumbs to Lucario's Aura Sphere. Oceanman sent out second. He is holding a Focus Sash since I figured Lucario would try to go for Extreme Speed, which could kill if it crits. Lucario is kind though, after murdering our Guildmaster in cold blood, letting Oceanman Earthquake him for free, getting the Oko. Milotic is Cynthia's third Pokemon. We're free to fire off another Earthquake, safely leaving her under half thanks to Stealth Rock. This was where I planned to sack Oceanman, but our Focus Sash staying intact allows a follow-up Earthquake to feint Milotic. Fourth out is Roserade. I can't risk switching out in fear of messing up my plans by going off script. Oceanman will need to take me by the hand and hope for Rock Slide flinches to cause as much carnage as possible. To his credit, he actually makes Roserade flinch. A second Rock Slide is then just enough to knock Roserade down and out. 3 for 1 Pokemon is incredibly lucky. Togekiss is up 5th. Can we get even more Rock Slide nonsense? We don't, with an unfortunate miss. Oceanman falls to Togekiss's Air Slash, but our mole guys will get to explore the seas in the afterlife. Thanks guys, you were so clutch. Assembly comes out, and we're putting this thing to sleep with Yawn. Air Slash deals a ludicrous amount of damage in return, but we hang on. Then we protect to confirm that I am indeed Togekiss's sleep paralysis demon before landing a Psychic. The next turn, another Psychic ends that Egg Burb. Fitting for Cynthia to release her ferocious Garchomp as our last obstacle, and will require another sacrifice just to be safe. Sorry, Assembly. I'll miss that Bellchime of yours, but this final ring is going to call up the Pokemon we need to close this battle out. War Outlaw is faster than Garchomp, Feather Dancing to reduce her physical attack by 2 stages. War Outlaw lives a Dragon Rush due to this, though I'm not too keen on allowing her to live after that beginning. I'll admit it, I'm salty even at this moment. In my defense, my tactical mind says that this is optimal emotionally and strategically, lowering Garchomp's attack further with Feather Dance and getting a free switch after our iconic War Outlaw feints to Flamethrower. Hey is gonna save the day. Shell Armor guards us from physical attacks critting and ignoring those attack drops, and Garchomp's petty attempts at a burn with Flamethrower are useless. Hey is able to land his double-powered, 4 times super effective Avalanche against Garchomp. It is plenty enough to destroy the Landshark, fainting her and defeating Cynthia. This means our ragtag group of side characters have found their own endings as champions, and those who fell can find peace knowing that they helped accomplish something great. Except you, oh my gosh, but you tried your best, I'll admit. And that's that. To keep it short and sweet, this was a unique Nuzlocke I've been meaning to do for a while now, and it was a ton of fun working with the Pokemon I was limited to get through situations as low of risk as I could. Thanks y'all for sticking around till the end, you're amazing. Remember, don't shirk work, run away and pay, and smiles go for miles. Don't ever forget. See you guys next time.